Hey guys, it's me. So this video is a little bit late, but I wanted to get this out since, well, 2021, it's been an interesting year for us. Year two of the pandemic, and honestly, it's been a mixed ride. But instead of the death battles of 2021, instead of doing a Season 8 retrospective, because, well, Season 8 was overall very good, and instead of doing a Minecraft Caves and Cliffs retrospective, I wanted to do something different. The filmmaking of 2021 was really interesting and somewhat diverse, but honestly, I liked the overall product from what I saw. So, without further ado, here are my top 10 movies of 2021. Spoilers ahead for all of these movies plus their honorable mentions. So, yeah. Be warned and enjoy. Thanks. Number 10. Raya and the Last Dragon. This movie, it's something spectacular. Whilst yes, the story is a little bit lackluster and the characters, especially the side ones, felt a little bit underutilized, it was still pretty enjoyable. The visuals are stellar, and I really enjoyed the dynamic between Sisu, Raya, and the antagonist. For our first original Disney property since Moana, I think it worked pretty well. Definitely give it a watch if you want. It's not for everyone, but I really, really think you're going to enjoy it. Number 9. Free Guy. Well, what isn't there to love about Free Guy? This film is action-packed, endearing, partially relatable, and just downright hilarious. Almost every joke from this film got at least a chuckle out of me. The acting is fantastic, the visual effects are amazing. Well, the action from this movie is fantastic. The story is very compelling, and I really, really adored the acting from everyone in this film. Ryan Reynolds as Guy did fantastic, and Taika Waititi as Antoine was just so fun as a villain. And everyone else in between was, oh, honestly, Free Guy was worth it. Oh yeah, did I forget to mention, it was hilarious. Oh boy. Yeah, I love this movie so much. Number 8. ShangChi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Holy data expunged Marvel did a kaiju movie! Shang-Chi was honestly fantastic. Not the best Marvel film of the year, as you'll see, but I would be lying if I said I didn't like it. This movie is incredibly action-packed and very mystical. The effects are beautiful, the story is well done. The final kaiju battle even got me hyped. And the moment I saw Shang, the moment he said his first lines, I knew I was going to like him. I knew I was going to enjoy this character. And the rest of the characters were very well done. Katie was good. Zhao Ling, Shang's sister, was also good. The antagonist was actually probably one of the worst parts of this movie, but I didn't hate him. But I'll say this. If you like kung fu movies or kaiju movies or mystic films, definitely give it a watch because it is great. Or if you're just an MCU fan and you haven't seen this movie, really good movie, definitely watch it. Number 7. Ghostbusters Afterlife. Let me get one thing clear. I adore this movie. This is the film that should have been released back in 2016. It's definitely a beautiful continuation. The characters are gorgeous. The the acting is amazing. The story, while very familiar, is unique in some ways. Though I'm really glad to see the original antagonist and the original characters again, as I have a massive fondness for the original Ghostbusters and its sequel. The next gen story definitely gave me a very Monkey Kid vibe, which honestly isn't a bad thing at all. This is the film that should have been released back in 2016. Definitely watch it if you're a fan of these characters or if you just want a good time. It's amazing. Number 6. Spider-Man No Way Home. The best MCU film of the year. This movie is action-packed, thrilling, comedic, and freaking heartbreaking. I kid you not when I say this movie, for me at least, came really close to rivaling Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which is a feat in and of itself. There were, yes, the problems boiled down to that of many of the MCU's problems, mostly like out-of-place jokes, but this time they were actually able to restrain themselves, unlike Far From Home and Homecoming. This time they actually took it seriously. And I would be remiss if not to mention the antagonists. Seeing the classic villains, especially Doc Ock, Sandman, and Tom Hardy's Venom and the Green Goblin, were just amazing. And then, spoilers, the entire theater lost it when Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield showed up. Like, insane. All I'll say, this movie has me hyped for the future, especially Multiverse of Madness. Number 5, Dune. When I first saw the trailer for this, I was immediately captivated. I knew that it was based off of a book, and what interested me at first about this was the kaiju aspect, the giant sandworms. Then when I watched the movie, everything else was amazing. It did the same thing that the It movies did, where it split it into 2 parts, and honestly, I can live with that. I haven't seen the original, and I'm currently reading the book, which I very much like. But this movie, for warning, it's a bit slow. It is a little slow, but honestly, very fun and very action packed. Though, like I said, it's slow in the second act. But overall, it's really good. The effects are amazing. The acting is amazing. The action is amazing. Arrakis feels alive in that movie, and if you loved the original 1984 Dune, or if you loved the book as well, you're gonna love this. Dune 2021 is fantastic, and honestly, I would recommend watching it, even if you know nothing of the story, or if you like the story themselves, or the books. Number 4, A Quiet Place, Part 2. I love this movie. The story was amazing, especially seeing the opening. I really fell in love with these characters more than the first, and that's saying something because I adore the characters in the first one. The first one had a fantastic premise and a very, very interesting world that only gets expanded here. A Quiet Place Part 2 definitely gave me so much respect for John Krasinski and the crew, and gave me a newfound interest in this world. Seeing our characters having to survive new obstacles aside from the Death Angels, And especially seeing what happened on day one was honestly a treat. I am very excited to see where they continue this series. I hope they get a spin-off because that would be awesome. And I really, really hope that this world gets a bit more expansion in the future. Oh, it's so good. Check it out if you loved the first one. Though, was it as good as the first one? Hardly. Hardly. The first one was fantastic, but this one was good. I would recommend it. I would definitely recommend A Quiet Place Part 2 if you haven't seen it, and if you love the first one. Heck, if you haven't seen either of them, watch both of them. They're amazing. Number 3, Luca. All I have to say about this movie is that it's beautiful. Every time Pixar comes out with something, well, most of the time, it's fantastic. Even if it's a sequel, excluding the Cars series, except for the third one. The third one's actually pretty good. But Pixar, they're some of the best animated filmmakers. Up there with DreamWorks, Disney themselves, and Universal Pictures. They are just so good. And Luca is no different. I adore the characters so much, especially our antagonist, Ercole, and our core trio, Luca, Alberto, and Giulia. All of them were amazing. I related to all of them, especially Luca the most, actually, because, well, living up to expectations, and I'm around his age. He's such an amazing character, and I adore the others. Alberto's motive was also good, and Giulia's motive. Giulia was probably one of the best characters of the film, because holy hell, fantastic. Also, Massimo, the father. Who else got, like, Tim Lockwood from Cloudy, the dad from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs vibe? Because, like, holy Jesus. They look so similar, but they're fantastic. Overall, Luca is just amazing. Definitely give it a watch if you haven't. I will not stop singing the praises of this movie. And that's 2 Disney movies that have made the list, which is definitely something to say. Number 2, Encanto. Make that 3, actually. What is there to say about Encanto? The music is beautiful. The characters are gorgeous. The story is amazing. The music is beautiful. The themes are fantastic. Have I forgotten to mention the music is amazing and beautiful? I'm half Colombian, and seeing this movie, I resonate with it so much, being that I've visited Colombia multiple times. The majority of my family members come from there, and I am very in tune to the Colombian side of my family. But minus that, I adore these characters, this film. The soundtrack, I have been listening to the soundtrack for the past month and a half. I'm not asking for help. The characters are beautiful. The sound design is fantastic. The story is, oh, mwah, chef's kiss. Oh, so good. Of my favorite characters, Isabella is my favorite. Her story is fantastic and definitely reminds me a lot of Elsa's, especially her song. Though comparing it to Let It Go, I prefer What Else Can I Do? Don't at me. And yes, I still adore the Frozen movies. But Mirabel is also a fantastic protagonist, as well as Luisa being one of the side characters, and all 3 of the sisters being relatable and just being fantastic characters overall. The voice actors did a great job, and if if we get a Disney Plus series or a sequel to Encanto somehow, I would love to get some more expansions on this world. Also, let me know in the comments below if you could have any of the gifts from Encanto, which one would it be? For me, I'd probably go with Isabella's, because manipulating plants is honestly interesting in concept. That would actually be really, really interesting and lead to some pretty hilarious shenanigans. So, before we get to the number one, I want to I want to mention a few honorable mentions. Four of them. All of these movies I have seen, and all of these are really, really good. Here are four of them that just barely didn't make the list, but I personally think they were worth it. No Time to Die. This is my third ever James Bond movie that I saw, and I personally really enjoyed it. The action was fantastic, the characters were well done, especially Bond himself. The premise was actually pretty stakeful, especially considering the concept of what they were doing. Definitely took a bit more of a real life toll, because spoilers, it was basically starting a pandemic, at least that's how I remember it. And we're in the middle of a pandemic, so yeah, that was interesting. Speaking of which, the antagonist, he was a mixed bag for me. I mean, his motives were not the best, but I he was actually pretty terrifying what he was gonna do. And honestly, I would definitely recommend this movie. As a good send off of James Bond, this iteration, I would definitely recommend it. It's got some charm, and if you like James Bond, I think you're gonna love No Time to Die. The Tomorrow War. This movie has some of the best sound design I've ever heard in a story. The action was amazing, the characters and settings were great, the story was interesting. Not the most original, but, well, actually, kind of the most original. It it's sort of a mix between A Quiet Place, Alien, Terminator, uh, and Stranger Things. But honestly, that's not a bad thing. It's fantastic and arguably one of the best movies of the year. Almost cracked my top 10. I watched it again very recently, and I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Definitely give it a watch if you want a chance to turn off your brain, or if you want to turn on your brain throughout it. Though it's a bit stupid at some points, but I'm not gonna shame it for that. But it's really good, really good. Definitely give the Tomorrow War a shot. I I also don't think there should be a sequel at all. There's literally no reason to do so. The Mitchells versus the Machines. Oh God. Why is this movie so funny? I'm not kidding. I had legit a smile on my face throughout every frame of this film. The action, for as minimum as there is, well, actually, no, there's no minimum action. It's just really action packed and really funny. It's great. The family, oh, fantastic. It reminds me a lot of Luca, but not exactly as good. Or more like Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, actually. Though with elements of Luca and, what else was it? Damn, who else? Yeah, but those two were the most prevalent. Really good movie. The characters were fantastic. Oh man. Oh man. The story was great. The villain's motives were actually stupidly understandable. But she the antagonist was like a funnier version of Ultron. Oh man. Give this movie a shot because it is hilarious. Ron's Gone Wrong. This one is also similar to Mitchell's vs. the Machines in a sense. This movie definitely surprised me. If you look back at other non-Disney, Pixar, or DreamWorks animations from previous years, most ranged from decent to absolute dog crap. Like, what the heck is this movie? Get it out. My eyes are freaking burnt. My eyes are freaking burning. Stay back. But Ron's Gone Wrong was definitely something interesting. It gave me, throughout watching it, it gave me a very not Mitchell's versus the Machines, because I hadn't seen it at that point. No, Big Hero 6. It reminded me a lot of Big Hero 6 at the time. And honestly, I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. Big Hero 6 is one of the best Disney movies I've seen. And it also reminded me of How to Train Your Dragon, which is another bonus, as all three of those movies are my favorite animated movies of all time. These Ron's Gone Wrong was just something special and just really heartfelt and a really good time. Here's hoping that in the future, other non-Disney related animated movies. Oh, wait. Oh, right. Sing 2 happened. Sing 2 was crap. Nah, Ron's Gone Wrong was good. Stay away from Sing 2. Don't watch it, but definitely watch Ron's Gone Wrong. Ron's Gone Wrong was something really good. It surprised me, and I think it'll surprise you. And for my number one pick, number 1, Godzilla vs. Kong. I mean, this is hardly a surprise. Godzilla is my favorite fictional character of all time, and King Kong is a freaking badass. So, seeing them go at it again, especially after the stalemate from the 1962 movie, don't get me wrong, I don't hate that movie. I have a really soft spot for that one, but this one's better. Seeing these two kaiju go at it was fantastic. The sound design was amazing. The story is mixed bag. I mean, it falters in a few places, but I honestly didn't mind it. The kaiju action was actually surprisingly common. Like, they got to the fight about a third of the way in. The first fight about a third of the way in. And the final battle between Godzilla and Kong was like 30 minutes combined. So, that was awesome. Split into 2 rounds, even. And Godzilla took the victory, which I knew that was going to happen. I think all of us knew that was going to happen. Yeah, they gave Kong an axe to at least give him a chance, and no, Godzilla destroyed him. Godzilla straight destroyed him. Though I'm glad they didn't kill him, leaving it open to the future, which I do hope they do. The characters were good. I didn't hate all of them. On Godzilla's end, it was mixed. Bernie was fine. Madison was not as good as King of the Monsters, but eh. And Joshua was actually kind of useless for the most part. Like, the only major thing that I can think of that he did was disarm Mechagodzilla, which, yeah, honestly, that was the only thing that they needed him for, but, like, eh. Whereas the characters on Kong's end, Eileen was great, Nathan was good, Gia was amazing, Maya was good, and everyone else was good. Mechagodzilla's end, the antagonists, bare bones, but I didn't mind that. This is a Godzilla movie. Of course it's gonna be like this. And honestly, I genuinely do want an expansion in the future. I've come up with an expansion, my own idea for like an expansion in the future for both Godzilla and King Kong. introducing some new and old Titans, which honestly, I hope we get in the future. I, yeah, I really enjoyed Godzilla vs. Kong, and I really hope we get some more in the future. Hey guys, it's me. So that was my top 10 movies of 2021, I guess. This is the first time I've done a top 10 ranking, but honestly, it's not bad. Wasn't bad. This video had to be a little bit delayed because, well, mom tested positive for COVID, and then my younger brother did just a couple hours ago. So, yeah, I've been quarantining in my room. So, yeah, get vaccinated, guys. Get vaccinated, please. The sooner out of this pandemic, the better. Because this pandemic's taking a toll on all of us. I know that. But yeah, that was my top 10 movies of 2021 with a few honorable mentions. Please let me know what your top 10 were in the comments. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye.